My name's Deb. It's amazing what the makeup difference is from morning to nighttime, and also the lighting is different. So, fixing my microphone here. This is a live video that will be recorded and then go up on my channel. So, if you're watching it when it's recorded, excuse the casualness. There's nobody's in here yet. It usually takes a little bit of time for people to get in here. So, while that's happening, my name's Deb, and I like to share the human experience to help others with their human experience along the lines of awakening, self development. A lot of the experiences are anything from dark night of the soul to manifesting your dreams and desires. Having a wonderful, magical life that you are responsible for creating. And we're bringing awareness to the fact that we create things. So, with that said, I think I put in the description something about spiritual superpowers. Like, what would your desired spiritual superpower be? And this came up because I was in a Zoom training, and one of the icebreaker questions was, if you could have a superpower, what would it be? And the questions were all over the board. Some ended up being duplicates. But the first, few that I heard were ones I was like, huh, I wouldn't list that as a superpower because those are things that I personally have experienced. Things like time like time travel or time manipulation or flying or reading people's minds, being psychic. Those are kind of two different things. And so it's just very interesting on that aspect. And okay, back to a little bit of introduction. So these videos, Awaken with Deb was established in 2016. It was big on Instagram for a while. I deactivated that and switched over to YouTube videos, mostly kind of forced to by AI. I just started feeling like a lot of my captions, all of a sudden, everything else sounds like the way I sounded. And I don't know if that's maybe because my algorithms, maybe I was just starting to meet. I guess I kind of blamed it to AI, like, oh, everyone's using AI. Like, I didn't give humans credit. Maybe the humans actually can sound like me. But, anyways, so I wanted to start doing the videos so I could see if I could talk in the same way that I could write. The writing was great. That was wonderful, but it was hard for people to know the difference between what was me and what was AI. So, YouTube videos are born as of this year. Hello. Hello, Gabriel. I'm not sure if you are a person that's familiar with my channel or if you're a new person. I see that we have a few people in here now. So, hi, my name's Deb. Welcome. If you open chat, if you want to put like where you're from, or I think I have a question in the description, not really in the Q&A. I could put it every time I do a Q&A, it blocks I don't know how to do it. So, uh, a question would be, what's your spiritual what would you want to have for a spiritual superpower? Because this is kind of a spiritual channel. So if you're going to be in this room answering spiritual questions is where we're going to go. Hello, Arthur. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. My apologies. That's a cool name though. I like how it's not Arthur. It's Arthur. Welcome. If you want to say where you are, that's wonderful. Otherwise, if you want to put in the chat, I can't see who's in here. So I only know that you're in here through the chats. And Q&As, live sessions are here for in America. Wonderful. Okay. America, which state in America? If anyone wants to share where they're from or answer the question of what would your desired superpower be, and if you want to include why that's your spirit, why you want that to be your spiritual superpower, that would be pretty cool. Um, some examples. I said spiritual talk. I did. I mean, we all have spirits. So when it comes to attempting to label things, Philadelphia, I've met a lot of good people from Philadelphia. They all come out west, though. So come out west. That's where all the good. That's eventually you'll end up west because that's what happens with all the good people in Philadelphia. They come out west. I just say that because I haven't visited that area at all. I haven't been. I think the furthest east I've been is Colorado. maybe Boulder and Denver area. Yep. So, yep, spiritual talk. That's everyone has a spirit. So when it comes to finding a very specific word that can relate to what it is that I know what to talk about, everyone has a spirit. Like that's a very basic thing. So it doesn't narrow it down too much, but those that are willing to talk about their spirits, and it is a broad subject. So, but spiritual superpower. I mean, that can be things like psychic. I guess I don't know how many people were in here listening, but I was in a Zoom training one time, and one of the icebreaker questions was, "What would you like your superpower to be?" And most people were just in chat answering the things, and a lot of the responses I didn't view as superpowers, like reading people's minds or knowing the future, changing the past, time travel. Um, what were some other ones? Like these are things that I've like through the spiritual journey I have done. One of them was like travel dimensions, I think. And so like through meditation, it's just like on the spiritual journey, it has so many different rabbit holes. And reality really is everything that you believe. So depending on what rabbit hole you pick, it's like infinite, basically. So all right, these videos, these live videos. So I started doing daily videos that I post on my channel. I think I switched to daily in like April, so there's a good amount of them on there. A good amount of them there. The videos are kind of quite random. Eventually, I will get to where things are more categorized, maybe. But for the most part, it's just information that comes through. And so if you kind of browse through the videos, if a subject calls to you, like intuitively, you'll feel it. You'll be like, oh, yeah, this seems interesting. And then you don't even have to watch the whole video. Just kind of scrub and pick a spot, and spirit will usually guide you to a spot, to a message that you need to hear. And I really believe that this is how a lot of this information works. So if you intend to be able to use YouTube as a tool to find messages and confirmations for whatever you're going through, then I highly encourage you to go browse my channel. And I started getting some. A lot of people wanted to be more interact. Like I wanted more interaction with this. How can I give people more information? So these lives became a thing. I started off as doing live for 7 days at 7 p.m. for only 7 minutes. And this live is now over 7 minutes. So at any point, now that this has reached the 7 minute part, if I get bored, I'm out. So keep this engaging. Otherwise, I'm out because I live in a world class location that has amazing nature and it's really easy to just enjoy life. Okay, so no idea what spiritual superpowers, but you would want the ability of flight. So flight was one of them. And when I saw people put flight in the chat, my first mind goes to air and aviation activities, canopy activities, because it really does give you, I mean, you would think like, oh, but it's not the same as a bird. It's not the same as a bird, but it is different than staying on ground. And it does fill you with joy, most likely, unless you suck and then you'll be filled with fear and then you'll probably crash and die. So you want to go into it feeling joyful and capable. But yeah, things like paragliding, skydiving, um, or pilots, if that's more your realm, less adrenaline, like it's less adrenaline, not that the other things are adrenaline, because it takes a lot of focus and dedication and skill and craft to do the things, but you get to fly, and it's amazing because you're in control, and you get to change. You get to go from your feet on flat ground to controlling everything in 3D. It's a totally different thing. And usually there's not a pause button. Like you're in, as long as you're in the air, you're not on pause. It is the most exhilarating feeling ever. This last weekend when I was out hiking, I was in a national park and I noticed how like, it's rocky, it's nature. And majority of people had a hard time walking on ground that was not flat and man-made, like, and it broke my heart. And so these journeys are, because I think just by awakening, becoming spiritual, you become aware of what your body is doing as well, and you naturally want to take care of your body, and that allows you to have a better life. So All right, we are down to one person. I'm not sure who's in here. It doesn't allow me to see the names of people that are in here. I can only see by who's active in the chat. So I have a cat that's going crazy, wants to be let outside. We're down to one person. I'm going to end this live here. I am trying to get on live every night at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That's 1 hour ahead of California, 2 hours behind New York, and 8 hours ahead or behind the European area, because I know I have some listeners over there too. So yeah, tune in, subscribe so you don't miss notifications of the live. Sometimes I've been doing them randomly. So like for the algorithm, comment if any of this sparked anything with you. Other than that, I will see you all tomorrow.